Alright, the last one in the circle series. What we're going to do now is when we're given area in terms of pi, we're going to find the radius and diameter. So area is given in terms of pi, we're going to get the radius and diameter. So here we go. Alright, so I found this drum head online. Looks like a moon, but it's for a bass drum. And I found out that the area, or I'm given that the area is 121 pi inches squared. Once again, the area is not 121. It's the product of 121 times pi. If I wanted to find the area, I could multiply by pi and I'd get the one number that was the exact area, or very close to it. So what I want to do now is take this and find the radius and the diameter, the distance straight across it through the middle. So if I take a look again at my variable triangle, it comes up again. Taking the area of this and dividing by pi gives me the radius squared. What I get is a lot of kids mistakenly doing is they'll divide this by pi, but they'll divide 121 by pi. It's not 121, it's 121 times pi divided by pi. So a couple ways I can think of this. First is almost the common sense way. Since I find area by multiplying pi times radius squared, if this is the area, whatever I'm multiplying by pi is the radius squared. So the first thing you can look at it is whatever the number you're multiplying by pi is, well, that's the radius squared. The other way is you can actually do some work here to find that. This guy's got to come over. We can take 121 pi inches squared and we can divide by pi. And once again, we have the pi's cancel out. But again, you'll see we're just left with 121. So either way you do it, just looking at what you're multiplying by pi, or actually dividing 121 pi by pi, you're left with 121. But that is very, very important. That is not the radius. That's the radius squared. Area divided by pi gives me radius squared. So I'm not where I want to be yet. So let me erase this and just take you here. We have the radius squared now. We're going to be able to get to the radius very quickly. We know what number we're going to get when we take the radius and multiply it by itself. Not multiply it by 2, multiply it by itself. So something times itself equals 121. So we need to take the square root, not divide by 2. We need to take the square root of 121. And the square root of 121 is 11. Now you can use a calculator for that, or I know in my class you guys need to know the perfect squares up to 225, so this would be something you wouldn't have a calculator for. But the radius is 11, and let's include our units. It's 11 inches. If we want our diameter, again, it's a simple process. We're just going to take this and we're going to multiply it by 2. So 11 times 2 is 22. So the diameter is 22 inches. Okay, and maybe we'll put a D down here just so we can tell we have the diameter. And then we'll just do a quick recap here. Okay, so if you're given area in terms of pi, you can divide by pi and the pi's will cancel out and you'll be left with the radius squared. Or you can just look at it and say, well, since pi times radius squared equals area, then that's my radius squared. But again, once you have radius squared, you're going to need to take the square root of it, to find the actual radius. Here our radius was 11. Multiplying by 2 gives you the diameter, so that's pretty much it. Just remember here, we're not dividing by 2 to get the radius. We're going to have to take the square root. Okay? Hope it helped.